Suter.com. This segment brought to you by Big Dog Tech Solutions, Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, Streets Maintenance, the Oxyoke Inn of the Amanas, Premier Automotive in North Liberty, Senior Benefits, Diamond Dream Sports Academy, Harty and Stocker Jewelers 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City, the Midtown Family Restaurants. They got meatloaf today as their special at the Scott Boulevard one. I really like their meatloaf. It's really good. Supple's Flowers, home of 1-800-800-ROSE. GT Car and his great crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. And Deary Brothers Ford, Patrick Eads and his staff. Here's Tom Suter, and from Hawkfanatic.com, eating something, not offering it to the class.
No, it's too good. It's cinnamon strudel.
I like that.
From Hostess. Glass of ice,
Yeah.
20-ounce Diet Mountain Dew, and a small thing of cinnamon strudel. What's my cost? Yes.
$8.50.
$6.75. Let's see. We'll go down the list here. Let's go. The glass of ice was 55 cents. What do you think of that?
I think that's a ripoff.
Okay, and then the coffee cake was $2.79, and the 20-ounce Diet Mountain Dew was $3.19. They kill you with pop.
They do.
And whenever you go to a restaurant and you
Same.
don't order pop, you can tell they deflate a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's a good chunk of profit.
I remember when I started working at Spaghetti Works, I remember them saying, get them to buy pop because that's where we don't make anything with food because the markup's so small. Beverage is where I think they said like a glass of pop we used to charge 95 cents. It costs like 3 cents.
Yeah.
So every time you get a glass,
that's a lot more than that.
That was back
now.
in the 80s. Well, that was back in the late 80s. So, all right, but no, cinnamon strudel, not enough to offer you any, Captain. But it is really good.
Well, I'm sure the bakers that host this
Appreciate the free advertising.
know what they're doing.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello. Aren't you glad we don't live out Northeast?
Yes. We were just talking about that. Yeah, we've been lucky this winter with missing most of the really, really bad stuff.
Other than cold weather, we haven't had anything.
Yeah.
And I thought the women's defense yesterday was really good.
Yeah,
You are
I
correct.
thought they kind of rushed their shots in the first half, but by the fourth quarter, they finally seemed to get it put together, and I think they could have beaten them by 30 points if it lasted longer.
Well, they won by enough.
Yeah, it was defense.
It was. Michigan played great defense, too, early on. They fourth quarter, they got
their
flattened.
Offense was horrid.
Yes, they were.
If that's the number 6 team in the country, please.
Well, they averaged 86.
I know, but they looked terrible yesterday.
Yes, they did.
Well, and they said that on the Big Ten Network that they're still rated number 2 seed and we're a 3 seed. Even though we beat them.
That's probably true.
Yeah, there's still time to change that.
Yeah, and they'll may meet again head-to-head in the Big Ten tournament, and if they do, we'll see what happens.
Could be for the final game even.
With a chance to lose to UCLA in the championship.
In there somewhere.
That's basically what it's going to come down to. If any team can challenge UCLA.
Because Iowa, Michigan will be the 2-3.
I would think so.
Okay,
Take your
now
pick.
is it with the women the first 15 go, but the men all 18 go?
I believe so.
I think that's right.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and the men, they did a pretty good first half, and the second half, Wisconsin kind of got to them.
Colt Center's a tough place to play.
They won at home, and they had a great point guard who was on a roll. They couldn't guard him.
Nope.
Yeah, Boyd.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
They knew he was going to go left, and they still couldn't stop him.
And then when I got home from the women's game, I went to get ready for the men's game, and on my TV it came on with web provider not documented or something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get anything, so I called Mediacom, yelled at them, and they said they'd send somebody out Thursday. I said, that's not going to help me now.
No.
And then I turned it on later, and it was already on. So what'd they do? Decide they didn't want to hear me yelling?
Maybe nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe they just fixed something on their end and
Yeah.
had nothing to do with your complaint. Unknown. You don't
Well,
care
were
as
trying
long
to
as they
fix
fixed it.
Well, I was on the phone, but they couldn't get it fixed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I get tired of that.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
And then I watched the men wrestle, and they need some help there.
You watched the Oklahoma State men wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it too. I'm actually writing something today about wrestling. I'm not demanding changes or
I said I wanted 4 victories yesterday. Well, I got the 2, the Olympics and the women, but I didn't get the men and the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling's got some issues.
Yes, they do.
So anyway, you guys have a good day.
All right, you too, Karen.
Yeah, the people are restless.
Yeah, but again, who are you going to get? Cale Sanderson ain't coming here. David Taylor's already hired at Oklahoma State. And I think you could make a case that Tom Brands deserves maybe a little bit more time to fix this, given who he is,
I would say
what
so.
he's done for Iowa wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know Tom personally. I don't even know if he knows. I mean, we've been around each other for 30 years, but I've never covered wrestling on a beat basis. So I'm hardly the person to parachute in and say, make changes. Now, I am taking an analytical view at it. And they have not been the same ever since Cale Sanderson became the head coach at Penn State. They just have not been able to coexist in this world. And now the problem is they're not even number 2.
We've managed to come up with a national championship in there while Cale was there, but not, one?
They won 8, 9, and 10, and then 1. They should have won 2, but it's been complete, total dominance by Penn State.
It has.
And Iowa has not figured out a way to navigate through that. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. I mean, they got to get better wrestlers and develop. It's no secret. I mean, everyone's saying that Brands' training methods are archaic. I mean, are they? I don't know.
I don't know either.
And I don't.
But I'm hearing that too.
But who are we hearing it from?
From people that know more about wrestling than I do.
Well, that could be a lot of people.
Exactly.
Me too. I mean,
exactly.
I got somebody who I trust, and he's frustrated. I'm not going to say who it is, and he says there are obvious issues. I think they just got to get better wrestlers. Is what it comes down to. Everyone's like, well, they only get this many takedowns. Well, the reason they don't get more takedowns is because the guy they're wrestling is better. That's usually the way it works. Now, there probably is some training and whatever, but it's hard for me to believe that all of a sudden Tom Brands just forgot how to wrestle and forgot how to coach wrestling.
Well,
I mean,
agree with
Iowa
that,
fans
too.
worshipped him 10, 15 years ago. And when he came here to replace Zaleski, who they had grown tired of, and rightfully so, Zaleski had kind of ran his course, but the program's in the same shape then. Now, right now, it's the same as it was when Zaleski
and
left.
it looks kind of the same in that it's not as dynamic. The takedowns seem to be disappearing.
Well, they're just not aggressive because I think the guy they're wrestling against is probably better. And when you know the guy you're competing against is as good or better, I think at times it must probably limit you from wanting to be aggressive for fear that something bad may happen. That's just my observation.
Possible.
But again, I'm pointing in this thing. I'm not suggesting they should make changes. Now, do I think it would not surprise me if they made some staff changes during the offseason. I don't think Beth's going to – they've lost 6 matches for the first time in over a half century. Most of them haven't even been close. I mean, last night's match was not even close. I mean, watching Drake Ayala get tech-falled by granted a great – freshman, but still, that's Drake Ayala.
Yeah, I was shocked by that one.
I was shocked by that.
Yep, I was too.
It's just not good right now. Iowa fans are spoiled, but it is what it is. They're spoiled because of what happened in the 80s and the 90s. But again, the 80s and the 90s are a long time ago.
A long time ago.
And the 2000s are getting to be a long time ago. And Iowa really, Sanderson was hired in 2009. That's a long time ago. I mean, that's
17 years.
That's 17 years ago.
He's been there for 17
yeah.
years.
Well, and he's won 12 national titles. Wow. And he's won 10 of the last 12. They had that little glitch there right around COVID where Iowa made that run with Spencer Lee. They had that 2-year. Brands have won 4. I mean, Tom came here in 2006. By 2008, they won 3 straight national titles. Then they won another one in 21. Should have won in 20. That's 5. So, again, you're critiquing a coach who's done – no other coach at Iowa right now could compare anywhere close to what Tom Brands –
No.
Clarissa Chum, but I'm not ready to put women – it's not developed enough.
No.
But as far – fans are frustrated. The problem is Tom Brands is a victim of the own monster that he helped
That's correct.
create. and he's just being judged differently because wrestling is judged differently. I mean, right now it's a disaster, and they're still a top 10 program. Is any other team in Iowa right now ranked in the top 10 in their sport?
No, the women are
Women
close.
are knocking on the door, but for wrestling, they're at the bottom of the top 10, and that's crisis because it's Iowa wrestling. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't believe he deserves to be fired, and nor do I think he will be fired. But stuff's got to change. They can't keep. I mean, Carnes even said attendance has dropped. I know a few people that have gone to matches this year, and they said there's more empty seats than usual. But it's going to happen even to wrestling. Losing causes fans to stay away.
Well, it does. They were sellouts,
but people aren't showing up.
And if people aren't showing up, then they're not buying the treats.
And I don't know, are all the wrestling home matches sold out?
I believe so.
Are they this year? I know they have been, but I was told for the one match that the arena was half empty. You know, you may get the tickets sold, but you're not getting concessions. You're not getting anything that goes with it.
Yep.
So, I mean, but no, it was well, yesterday went exactly like we kind of thought the women would win. Didn't think they'd win as decisively as they did. Thought the men would lose. Didn't think they would lose as decisively as they did. And thought wrestling would lose, but didn't think they would lose as decisively as they did.
Okay, so what did the Iowa baseball team...
Baseball lost 3-2 to
Right.
Florida Atlantic. I didn't check softball yet. I haven't seen.
They lost.
They lost twice. Then okay, so not a good weekend for softball.
No, okay, so what did the baseball team, women's basketball, men's basketball, and Iowa wrestling games, matches have in common?
They all lost.
No.
Well,
there was one common denominator.
Okay, tell me. I'm not.
The home teams won decisively in all four.
Now baseball.
It was 5-1, wasn't it?
No, baseball was 3-2.
Oh, was
So
okay.
it wasn't decisive.
But it was
They
the
still
home
won.
team won. Yeah,
but they also beat them 2 out of 3
They
times
did.
on their home field. But no, home court advantage was huge in both basketball games yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Had you revert as decisively as Iowa won yesterday, if it was in Ann Arbor, I'd still pick Michigan to win.
Oh, I would
without
too.
hesitation. And I think they probably would win. Home court advantage is huge when you have teams like that. Plus, though, Michigan's not as good as I thought they might be. I mean, they got the big girl in the middle who's more mean than talented.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean, number
better
15
inside than they are.
I mean, Ava
without
Hyde is
question.
just more skilled than the big girl for Michigan who played with an edge. She was kind of mean.
She was.
Kind of had a scowl on her face the whole game. And she got Ava to be mean. Ava was actually roughing it up a little bit. That's sweet old Ava.
Ava was kicking ass.
Ava's like, hey, sometimes you butt heads in the post, but Ava's just so sweet. I mean,
She
if
had
you
a
talk
rough
to-
first half.
She
but-
did. There were some times in the first half where she looked lost off. She was rushing everything. But they made some nice adjustments, got that high-low post game going. Ava and Hannah really
did
starting
they.
to play well together. But the defense was the game. The way they played off the screens and the pick and rolls, they never gave them an inch. It was like they had 5 Kylie Fearbacks out there playing defense. Everyone played great on defense. And our radio friend Taylor Stremmel, she's great. She'll make 3 threes in a row, and then she may airball 2 or 3 in a row, and she's not fazed by it. The funny thing is, she shot the one airball from the top of the key, and she shot it way short. So the next one she shot from the baseline, she shot it way long.
2 feet
I just
over.
laughed, but she doesn't care. She'll do it again. If she's open, she's going to shoot it. But her 1-3 in the first half, right in front of the Michigan bench, that was a huge shot that really seemed to
It
get
was.
everybody going.
Chit Chat had a rough day.
She did.
too.
And well, I've got the
Shooting.
stat. She had a rough
Shooting.
day shooting. Chit Chat was 2 of 9. She did have, let's see, she had 3 assists. Not one of her better games. 3 assists, 4 turnovers.
But defensively, she
But defensively, she
handcuffed
was great.
Silas Swords
Yeah,
beautifully.
she was great. And let's see, Hannah Stokey, 12 rebounds, 11 points. Hayden was 11 of 7. She had 20 points in the second half. Hayden did 24. Let's see, 10 rebounds. Another good line for Junie Houston, 5 rebounds, 4 points, 2 assists in 14 minutes. I thought Addie Deal.
She had 2 key plays.
And then Callie Levine had one of the biggest baskets
she
in the
did.
game, that runner in the lane.
She did.
Yeah, Addie Deal ended up with 3 points. She had 2 steals. She did have 1 turnover, but I thought she helped them.
She did.
But you notice, let's see, Jan only played 8 players and Ben only played 8 players yesterday. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And right now, yeah, you've got depth, but you got to win these games, too. I didn't think Layla Hayes was going to play yesterday because it wasn't a matchup for her.
I think she might play some against Illinois.
She could, but Michigan just did not have a matchup that fit her because there was lots of times where Michigan didn't have much. When they took 15 out, they didn't have any size.
No.
I was surprised at how short Michigan was. I just wasn't overly impressed with Michigan, and maybe that's because Iowa made them look pretty
Well, I
average.
think that's a lot of it, and they usually shoot extremely well, and they couldn't hit the broadside of the barn yesterday.
No, I mean, that first 3 minutes of the game, it was just
Wasn't
brutal.
that just amazing?
It was brutal. I mean, people were just air balls and ridiculous passes. It looked
and
like
tie-ups.
it looked like a youth league, for like the intermediates or whatever.
And tie-up after
Yeah, the tie-up after tie-up. But Iowa found a way, and the crowd was huge. I think the crowd was a major part of it, just like the crowd up at the Kohl Center was a major part of it. Man,
And probably at Oklahoma State.
that Nick Boyd, though, wow,
What a game.
he was incredible. I mean, he played at Florida Atlantic. Did he play for? Is that where Dusty May was? I think it was.
I think you're right.
And then he played at San Diego State last year. I mean, he's really good. But what's crazy is, and Ben kept yelling at the whole game, left, left, left. Everyone knew he wants to go left because he's a left hand, and they just couldn't stop him. He just was blowing by everybody. 27 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds.
It's a pretty good line.
It's a pretty good line. And Bennett had 23, so he did his usual. And they, Tate had 11, Alvaro had 11, and Tavian had 10. So they gave it a good effort. I just think Wisconsin is as good or maybe a little better than Iowa and was playing at home. And that's just what's going to happen.
That's exactly right.
And again, if Iowa was playing Wisconsin at home, I'd give Iowa a pretty good chance of winning. Wrestling, I'm not sure how much it would matter. If Iowa was wrestling Okie State here, I think it would be more competitive, and Ben Keeter would maybe wrestle.
Yeah.
But Okie State just looked like the better team. I mean, it just was the Ayala match, though, is the one that really shocked me. I just could not believe what I was watching.
So we've lost to Oklahoma State,
Ohio
Iowa
State twice,
Ohio State twice,
Penn State, and was it Minnesota? They've lost 6.
I think it was Minnesota.
Yeah, they've lost
Or was
6.
it Nebraska?
I can't remember. All I know is they've lost 6. This match, and I don't think the last time they've lost that many, someone said, was 1970, something like that.
I read something like that. I mean, people, at least on my Facebook feed,
Well, here I'll look at the.
are abandoning the.
Okay, here
program.
we're getting a little wrestling object. Let's see. Iowa has 5 very good verbals for the next 2 years that verbalize based on the Brands beater. Maybe not as much of a concern if Beth makes other changes. Okay, so I think there will be some staff changes. I mean, I don't think it's going to be Terry. But again, I don't want to single out the other assistants either. But you got to do something to show the fans that you're not accepting the status quo when things aren't going well. So we'll see. But I am not the person to say, well, they need to get rid of this guy, because I'm not qualified.
Chat room says
I don't cover it enough.
Brands has lost touch with reality.
Okay, well, if the chat room's saying it, then
They must be right.
They must be right.
They're right about everything
It's
else.
the chat room.
I'm just.
What'd they
telling
call
you
my nephew?
What they're saying.
What'd they call my nephew in the chat room?
Well, your nephew called you an idiot.
But they called him an effing moron.
Yes. But,
Would you rather be an idiot or an effing moron?
well, the
Well,
effing
it's a
had something to
Coin
it.
toss.
So-
really.
Yeah, I would say.
So you're saying an idiot's kind of boring compared to an effing moron?
Well, an effing moron. It's got the effing in it.
Well, what do you think do you think the effing helps or hurts?
I think it helps.
it helps a moron.
It elevates the moron.
All right.
I think it does.
All right. So if they would have called me an effing idiot,
That would have elevated.
okay, all right, all right, but yeah,
That was your nephew, though.
I think the
calling you
chat room put you and your nephew
Together?
on the
same
playing,
page. All right,
playing
well,
field.
We're
Yeah.
blood. That's what happens when you're blood. But no, I'm gonna look at the Iowa wrestling when they lose the Twitter account. They will. Let me see. I just want to get the reaction underneath. Now I'm not going to read a bunch of idiot posts, but if there's, let's see. I will. Did you guys watch any of the wrestling?
No.
I had it on. I didn't pay.
Okay,
We had the girls over for supper.
here's
so.
the final.
I had it on, and you said it a couple weeks ago. They really don't look like they're trying as hard as.
And I don't think that's the case. I know what you're saying. I don't think
You
that's
know,
the case, but I just think that the other guy they're facing, they're convinced is maybe a little bit. I don't know.
It's almost like they're afraid to
they
make a
don't.
move.
They're wrestling not to lose.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
And when the
look like-
Brands wrestled, they wrestled not to win. They wrestled to hurt
To
and destroy
dominate.
and
Yeah.
to just eviscerate everything you stand for. And sometimes they wrestled beyond the whistle. They pushed. They punched. the refs had to be on top of everything because they were mean and cruel, and I mean that in a nice way. Did you ever watch them wrestle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just, oh, my God, okay. They were just angry as hell, and these guys just don't have it.
These just don't look like they have the fight that.
Now, it helped, though, that Tom and Terry. Well, it helped
that
that Tom and Terry were usually significantly better than who they were wrestling, too. They had a lot of individual skill. That's part of it. But let me see the comments. Okay, the first comment is from an Okie State fan, some stupid man. Second one, let's see. The Brands boys have been and are great Hawkeyes, and they can hold their heads high and be proud of what they've accomplished as wrestlers and as coaches, but it's time for a change. There are no plausible excuses to continue down this path. It's over. Take a page from OSU. What he means by that is John Smith retired, and then they went right away and got David Taylor, who Iowa fans was hoping maybe would replace the Brands someday. Let's see. The Brands look stunned at times tonight, both wondering what is going on. It's over, guys. There's one. Now just a bunch of stupid memes, and
but that's what I'm seeing on Facebook.
Just stupid. All these Iowa won't do anything at nationals. Gotta love it. And for some reason, Iowa won't fire the Brands brothers. They can't even buy a good team. That's somebody bringing it on Twitter. He's bringing it, Captain.
Yeah.
Let's see. They need to be told tonight that they're not continuing after the end of the season. They're turning the program that Gable built into an embarrassment. Beth Getz, you've got to stop it before it continues to get worse.
See, this is the stuff I'm seeing.
Brands boys need to go. The Hawkeyes are has-beens because of their ineffective coaching. What a travesty. This program is in shambles. I don't know why I'm laughing.
You know, Beth's got to have some place to turn, though.
I've been an Iowa wrestling fan for 50 years, and this is the worst effort I've seen in that time. Sorry to say this, but the Brands brothers need to go. Thinking, okay, harsh. I like this guy. Just out of the blue, go Hawks! Just, with 4 exclamation points. Is that you, Suter, in this thing?
Might as well be.
You used to do that on the other board, and they would just destroy you. He'd try to be nice.
He'd try to be nice and logical.
Yeah, go to hell, radio boy.
He'd try to
get ripped.
You'd try to be logical.
Oh, he would try to bring fighting sides together in love because we all love the Hawkeyes, and they would just tell him to go kick rocks. The door is right over there, Tom and Terry. I honestly don't care whether you do anything else. Wrap this season up, fire the entire staff, throw the roster out the door, and start over. This program is dead. Fire the coaching staff. 6 losses is hilarious. Let's see.
Do you think it's fair to say that it's stale?
Well, yeah, I think it's maybe even worse than y'all suck. Laughed my ass off. Almost took the joy out of how bad you are. You suck, Iowa. What a effing joke of a program. How about, let's see.
It's just typical social media, you know.
And I just wonder how many of these people have ever, wrestled at the Division I level.
None.
Or at the high school level even.
Just a few.
You know, we can sit here but I'm sitting here thinking we're critiquing this program, and Ryder Block, he was 159-1 in high school.
Well, he's one of them who run.
And he did win yesterday. And is he going to win a national title? Probably not.
Probably not.
No, but I think sometimes even during times like this, you still have to appreciate how good these wrestlers are just to get to this level.
That's a great name for a wrestler.
Ryder Block, it really is. How about this one? Trouble in North Liberty. What the hell does that mean? Trouble in North Liberty.
Is that where the Brands boys live?
No, I mean Tom lives right over by Rob Howe, right on the east side of Iowa City. Worst team I've witnessed in 50 years, says Jimmy Ballsack.
Well, Jimmy Ballsack knows what he's talking about.
I knew you'd like that. You like that, don't you?
The Ballsack family.
They know they're wrestling.
Evidently.
Yeah, they know they're wrestling. Okay.
Sometimes they get a little testy when we lose.
Well, they go nuts at times during losses, right? Yes. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. But no, this is a sampling, and he's seen it on Facebook. I mean, this is what happens when you're not meeting expectations. And unfortunately for Iowa wrestling, the expectations are really, really high. But even if Iowa wasn't the dynasty it had, 6 losses in a season, I don't think Michigan would be happy with 6 losses in a season.
It's too many.
Has just been a free fall. So it will be interesting to see how Beth chooses to go forward, because she's showing she's not afraid to make changes.
Well, and as a coaching staff, nobody, they're not going to say this is acceptable because it's
they're not. No, Tom Brands wouldn't say that. But he's also not going to come out and say, "Gee, they should fire me and we suck." I mean,
no, of course not.
There's going to be a balancing act here, and the thing with Tom is he's kind of intimidating. He doesn't really like. You can tell he's not big on dealing with. He will. The best yesterday was they're getting their asses handed to him, and ESPN's interviewing him during the match. And he's like, "Yeah, we need to." I mean, you could tell he wanted to just rip the guy, but he had to do it, and he did it. He said something. Well, we got to catch fire. We got to do something. And the guy's right there interviewing him. I'm like, we don't need that, do we? No. I don't need to hear from the head coach while his team's getting boat raced on. I don't get that.
Hello.
Yeah. You know what the scary thing is? Do you guys know how old Cale Sanderson is?
He's born in '79, I believe.
Yeah, he's 46. I don't know what his higher aspirations are beyond Penn State, even if he has any, but that's
what would it be?
A lot of Iowa
really, for a wrestler,
crazy.
What would it be for a wrestling coach?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What would it be for a wrestling coach? What is higher than where he is right now?
I don't know.
I'm just asking.
He's like USA Wrestling for like World and Olympics.
Would that
But
pay?
I mean, he gets all the best high schools in the country, high school wrestlers in the country. I don't know if he would even, but man, he could be there another 20 years.
Oh, easily. I mean, easily. No, and Penn State was a sleeping giant. They were good at times over the 80s, but they've been a sleeping giant just waiting for the right guy, and they got him.
Yeah, they sure did.
Well, and Pennsylvania probably has the best high school wrestling in the country.
And now, yes, that's another good point. And I've had people tell me that 30 years ago, Iowa was much more even with Pennsylvania than it is now wrestling. Do you know? Know?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the PBS had the high school tournament on, and there's a handful. I mean, there's a few guys that they said were going to Nebraska and
the kid from Fort Dodge
could. Ross from Fort Dodge going to Oklahoma State. Yeah, but I mean, the kid that's coming here from Don Bosco, he looked really good. Mm-hmm. Tech called everybody.
That Drayshawn Ross, though,
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think a lot of people are critical because the guys just don't seem to improve while they're at Iowa. I mean, Ben Keeters, I don't think he's better than he was when he was a freshman. And
that's a good point.
Yeah. So.
And they're not aggressive. Right, they wrestle not to lose, it looks like, just from a novice watching.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling's one of those sports that you can't score points if you don't try to take a guy down.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the Brands is teaching passiveness.
Well, every time we interview him, he talks about you got to go, you got to score, you got to keep scoring, you got to keep scoring. And that's so. I'm sure he's telling his wrestlers every day the same thing. But again, his wrestlers aren't Tom and Terry Brands. Tom's problem is he can't coach himself. He would have loved to have had himself. He
would have kicked his own ass.
I mean, he would have. He
did.
But, yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call.
Gable ain't coming back. I mean, Dan's been retired for almost 30 years.
Isn't that incredible?
97, I believe, was his last year. God, that is incredible. I mean, Dan retired somewhat young. He'd only been doing it for about 20 years. I mean, he head coach, Kurtelmeyer's last year was 76, right?
That sounds about right.
So, I'm pretty sure, so he did it around 20 years. Because I thought 1997, 98, I thought was his last year. I could be wrong.
And Kurtelmeyer had some excellent teams.
He won 2 national titles before.
Yeah.
The thing is, Kurtelmeyer had the vision, the forethought, and the unselfishness to hand it over to Gable because I think he knew what they had.
Yep.
And he knew if he didn't do it, that someday somebody else, maybe Harold Nichols, would someday recognize it and get him back to Iowa State, and the rest is history. I think Kurtelmeyer sometimes doesn't get enough credit for stepping aside so Gable could work his magic.
And and he should.
Yeah, no, he should. Did you know him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And Dave McCuskey.
Yeah,
who also had a good program.
I mean, they were good under him too. Kurtelmeyer is the one though that got him to elite, and then Gable just took it to a different stratosphere.
He did.
A raging inferno of dominance, basically for 2 decades.
But if Harold Nichols had done the same thing that Gary Kurtelmeyer did at Iowa State,
it would have happened at Iowa State.
Gable would have, and
Iowa fans would have hated him.
And Cale Sanderson may have stayed there.
Possibly. But, man, it's hard to ignore what Penn State has.
It is.
I mean, from recruits and location and just everything Penn State has. It's a dynasty that shows. I mean, they're a bully right now. They're just the bully of college wrestling. Kind of. Remember in the '80s? I think really in the mid '80s, and at some points in the '90s when Iowa used to be criticized for being too good,
and everybody hated us because we were so good.
Now you're starting to see that with Penn State.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
people were saying that it's going to kill the wrestling. We were so good, it's going to kill the.
Wrestling's always been like that.
Oklahoma State still won the most national.
Yeah.
Now it's been a while since Oklahoma State was the dominant one. I mean, Iowa handed the throne to Penn State. Oklahoma State had it before Iowa, and so but it's just that's the weird thing about wrestling. It always seems like there has to be one or two programs, and I don't think that's good for the sport, to be honest with you.
No, I don't either.
I really
but that's
don't.
how it.
Women's basketball used to suffer from that, and I hope they're not going back to that again. I'm a little worried. I mean, I saw South Carolina beat somebody like 95-48 yesterday, and I think it was actually a decent team.
No, you still have that in women's basketball.
But it seems like it's shifting a little more this year. And it took Caitlin Clark, the greatness of her and her supporting cast, to kind of puncture that bubble for 2 years. But right now...
but we still didn't win.
No, still didn't win,
close.
but came close and... was pretty competitive in both games.
Oh, absolutely.
And but no, right now though, between UConn and UCLA and South Carolina, I mean, God, it's just one beatdown after another.
Yeah.
And those teams are all going to be hosting first rounds, which means that they're going to hardly be pushed at home.
They're going to all advance.
That's the biggest problem with the women's NCAA tournament. But we also love it because it looks like Iowa's going to be hosting 2 rounds too. So
it
looks
like,
But that's the weakness of the sport right now is it still can't self-sustain. NCAA tournament-wise, it still needs. And
there aren't enough good athletes yet.
There just aren't. And they have to still have the best teams host, which is still – it's come a long way, though.
It has.
And I'll tell you what. I mean, Iowa's 22-5, 12-3. I mean, that's big time. Jan now is 40 – let's see, 23, 45-16 is the Iowa head coach. That's pretty impressive.
It's incredible.
I think she's done a really good job. And, what's neat about it is Lisa's been around, but she hasn't really been. You know what I mean? Lisa's really good at handling her retirement. She's still visible, but she's not hovering, if that makes sense. And I didn't think she would either. I mean, Lisa has let Jan have her space. I'm sure she's there for guidance and support when Jan needs it. But this is Jan's team, Jan's time. And I like how Lisa's able to kind of blend in the background, calling games on TV and whatever, but without taking the spotlight.
And I think Lisa seems to enjoy being a broadcaster. She's very good at it.
She's good at it, and I also get the impression that Lisa seems to enjoy being retired.
Yeah.
Very much so.
She seems, every time I see her, just, hey, Pat, she just seems like she's having a really good time.
Yeah.
And she's earned it.
She's earned it. She has. So, yeah, but no, it's a neat story. Yesterday, that was a fun game to cover. It was it was a brutal at times, the play. I mean, Michigan was just, their offense was just horrid. I mean, they'd shoot, and I'm like, God, is that even going to hit the rim? I mean, there's some shots that were so off. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. They just weren't ready to play offensively.
You watch almost any of their other games, and you'd say, man, that's a good offensive team.
Well, yeah, if you're averaging 86.6,
that's good.
And then Iowa holding 42 below their average. And remember, guys, 17 days ago, Minnesota shredded Iowa for 91 points.
They did.
And what's crazy is Minnesota got stomped at home by Michigan State yesterday after leading in the first half.
They did.
I remember looking on the score. Minnesota was up by 10, and I'm like, man, they are on a roll. Then Michigan State ended up beating them by like 12, wasn't it?
14.
75-60. And I don't think Michigan State's that good. I've seen them play a number of times. I'm like, yeah.
They're pesky.
If Michigan State played South Carolina on a neutral floor, they'd lose by 20.
Probably, yeah.
And if they played Connecticut, they'd lose by 30. Now, Michigan did almost beat Connecticut, but I went back and looked. Connecticut was up by 7. Michigan made a run in the second half after Connecticut let its guard down, but Connecticut, I think, was up by 17 at halftime and by double figures. But Michigan did make a run.
And Michigan did the same against UCLA.
But there was no run yesterday.
No, there wasn't.
There was nothing close to a run yesterday.
No.
So
Johnny Ballsack only has one follower.
Johnny Ball, huh? I
he only
really
has one
want to follow that Ballsack.
I think he'd have 2.
Guy.
Why would you think he'd have 2? Did he have surgery? Did he have surgery?
His follower is Peach Pop Marshy Bun.
Do you love Twitter, Captain?
Jesus. God.
I haven't looked at Twitter.
They should both be executed.
Do you love Twitter?
Yeah, well, sometimes. What the hell?
Johnny Ballsack. I kind of like that. I think that's a good Twitter name, don't you think?
Yes.
I think you like it. You looked him up.
It should be Captain Ballsack.
Captain Ballsack? Is that what you want to be called from now on?
Yeah, that's it.
So you've gone from Captain Community to Captain Ballsack. What is that?
That's a good question.
What's that say about your direction?
It's not good.
But just think about how lucky we are weather-wise. What are they calling that thing out east? There's a bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
Bomb cyclone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what?
We had one of those a while back, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What makes a bomb? How do you qualify it?
Stays in the same place.
And has to have winds of a certain speed.
And dumps on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are getting hit with snow. I mean, it's...
Yeah. No, it's bad. Hello?
I think one thing that's going to hurt UConn going down to the end is they've never been pushed, and how are they going to react when they are?
If they are. Yeah. No, that is a concern because there's 3 or 4 teams that can push UConn. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
But I still like their chances.
But they won't see them until...
Yeah, I still like their chances.
Until the Final Four, probably.
Yeah, how many national titles has he won? Like 14 or something?
Or more.
It's just insane.
It might even be in the 20s.
I mean, it's not in the 20s, but it's insane how good they've been for how long. He won his first one in 95, so they've been dominant for 3 decades. 3 decades. But no, that was a nice win for the Iowa women yesterday. You could tell the fans were just loving it, and I mean, I say on Twitter, someone took a picture of Amy Harrigan, her 8th grade daughter, or 9th grade daughter, who's there on a recruiting trip. And good God, and there's like some. Then I look on my Twitter, and there's courtside film saying this 7th grader is. They literally had breakdowns of 7th graders. God. She's an instant bucket. She's like 12. I mean, there's
Tanny girl.
No, this was just someone different. This was just someone nationally. I just saw it. It popped up on my Twitter account, Courtside Films. And it was a 7th grader who they called Instant Buckets. She's playing in some youth league.
And she probably is, but what can happen is they can level off and they don't get any better.
I mean, she's
sometimes.
in 7th grade.
Yeah, and sometimes they just get sick of it and they don't want to play.
Yeah, she's closer to Clifford than she is college.
Yeah.
Clifford the Red Dog.
Yeah. My Jan's aunt, one of her, or cousin or something, that lives in that Puerto Vallarta, where the cartels are setting the thing on fire.
Oh, because they killed their leader?
Yeah.
Isn't Puerto Vallarta, isn't that like a tourist resort?
Oh, yes, very much
and they're setting it on fire?
Yeah.
Where the hell are the cops?
And they killed 25 cops.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, but she moved there.
So where's the army?
Albany,
Where's the
New
Mexican
York.
army? Why aren't they taking action? Maybe we will.
They're attacking Minneapolis.
Maybe we will.
Yeah. That ain't too far.
Well, no. Would it surprise you if Trump said, "Hey, if you don't stop, we're going to bomb you"? In that case, I wouldn't have a problem with us bombing cartels. Would you?
Well,
no, I really wouldn't.
You can't.
But he can't. You can't just do it. You got to go through the proper channels.
Yeah.
But if we could take out a few cartels, that's. Yeah. But man, that's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
So they're basically burning everything without anybody trying to get them to stop. They just have free reign.
I'm sure they're
Is the
fighting.
military or anything?
I'm sure they're fighting, but
they had to realize that once they killed their leader, that they were going to respond.
Well, the stupid thing is,
I'm no fan of the cartels, guys. I'm not.
The real stupid thing
Joe
is,
Cartel.
Our State Department said, "Yeah, we helped them kill him." Why don't we just shut up?
Yeah.
Well, if we helped them kill him, just shut up.
How does it involve the Hawks, though?
Huh?
How does this involve? How do we segue back to the Hawks?
This is Cale Sanderson.
I can tell you exactly how we segue back to the Hawks. Let's take a break.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. 800-ROAD. Remember,
don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's e-keys for cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's e-keys for cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's e-keys for cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Gades and Terry Adams of Dairy Brothers Ford talk about what Here For You means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as the statement Here For You, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top-level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying hit a deer, call Premier for years, and it works. Deer divots and dings do damage, but Premier Auto will do right by you. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Do yourself a favor. When your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier. The deer don't like Premier, but you will. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Hit a deer? Call Premier.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 390-3703, or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know, if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember, we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483, 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance, honest plumbing at a fair price.
You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out, but maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Your favorite place to eat in the Amana Colonies can be your favorite place to work. The Oxyoke Inn's nearly 90-year reputation for quality extends beyond our food and service. We think the working environment, training, wages, benefits, work schedule, no late hours, close at 8 p.m., and our Ox family are the best of any independently owned and operated restaurant in the area. Come meet the team. Apply for cook, baker, food server, or bartender, and have lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch on us. Is it worth the short drive? I guarantee it. We are searching for the best, and that means you. Apply today, in person or online at oxyokeinn.com. Oxyoke Inn, an Amana Colonies tradition since 1940, in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn. From the Harty and Stalker Studios, in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City. Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Temperatures are going to be all over the place this week, and we may catch a little light snow by Wednesday night into Thursday. Today, sunshine, 25 our high this afternoon. Tonight, down to 15 tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, 45 on Wednesday. Sunshine in the morning, clouds with some light snow in the afternoon into the night. Some minor accumulation possible with a high of 38. We're going to climb back into the 50s by Friday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 15.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply. Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We are back. I'm just
We are.
looking at Arizona. You're going to Arizona next week,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Wow. Let's see. When are you going to be there? What
I
day?
think we leave on Monday.
Okay. It'll be 89 on Tuesday, 85 on Wednesday.
That's great for Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a bomb cyclone.
You can say hi to Dallas. Dallas Jones lives down. I think he lives in Scottsdale, I think.
Yeah.
He loves it.
I'm going to Lake Havasu to see our friends Eric and Sheila from Wisconsin.
They live out near that lake?
They go there January and February.
Okay.
And part of March.
How close do they live to the lake, actual lake, which I've seen?
I'll let you know. I don't know.
Because I don't know if there's homes on the lake, if I remember correctly. But
yeah, I don't know.
Because I know it's a big party destination for
It's too hot for me.
Yeah, I would never want to live in Arizona.
Oh, Ann will be happy.
Yeah.
Would you, if you had to live in Arizona or Florida, which one you picking? God, that's kind of it's a bleak choice, isn't it?
The politics in Florida are just ridiculous.
I'd probably go Arizona.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd go Arizona just because.
But
just because it's Florida.
Florida. I really hated the weather.
So did I.
Yeah, in the summer it is
well, not
unbearable.
just the summer.
At 4 o'clock summer. 4 o'clock every day. It rained.
And by mid-April,
so
it's
humid.
just so humid.
Yeah.
So, but
no, I didn't.
I mean, we suffer here in the winter, and it gets brutal, and it gets hot here in the summer. But I still like the Four Seasons.
Oh, I do too.
Not the band.
I like 3 of the 4.
I'm Four Seasons.
Is that Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons?
Yes.
Is that Oh What a Night?
Them? Oh, what a night!
Yeah, that was just Frankie Valli, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It was interesting. I was watching the replay of Bill Maher. He had Paul Anka on as his guest.
We saw
Paul
him.
Anka wrote a lot of songs that I didn't realize he wrote.
We saw
Puppy
him
Love,
live
right?
in 1977 in Vegas. We saw him live.
Yeah,
Paul Anka?
Yeah. What other one? He did the one My Way. I thought Sinatra wrote that.
No.
Paul Anka wrote.
Yeah, Paul Anka.
And he still looks. He seems like he's been around forever.
Yes.
And he and Maher were kind of making fun of each other, just going back and forth. Anka took shots at him, and it was an interesting interview. I'm like, Paul Anka? So I listened to it, and it was interesting.
Yeah. He wrote he wrote a score for his funeral.
Did he?
Anka's Away.
He did write that, right? Yeah. They mentioned like 6 songs that he was known for, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know he wrote all those because I'd heard them all.
Yeah.
Did you do Heaven, My Baby?
God,
I hate that song.
I think you did.
That is just.
But yeah, I don't like that song. But he made money off it because I am aware of it.
Oh, it's awful.
It is an awful song.
Somebody liked it.
Oh, a lot of people.
Okay, Having My Baby or Seasons in the Sun?
Having My Baby.
All right. Having My Baby or Break My Stride?
Break My Stride.
I retire.
Having My Baby or Der Kommissar, which I heard.
Der Kommissar, easy.
Great.
I turned you guys on the other day, and you were playing Der Kommissar. And I'm like, God, they just won't stop.
That's easy.
I hate that song. Okay, Der Kommissar or Come On Eileen?
Come On Eileen.
I don't know. I think Der
Kommissar was such a stupid song.
It is. I liked Come On Eileen.
Who sings Der Kommissar?
Well, Falco.
Did
the original.
But who did the?
And then After the Fire. Did the one we.
All right. Yeah, I turned it on. I'm like KCJJ having at it.
Falco was a huge star in Europe. I mean, just massive.
Just another
star.
day at the Double J is what I said.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He got into drugs, I think.
Gee, there's a shock.
He got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Was he wasted?
Yeah. I don't know if he was wasted, but he was dead.
I saw something on Twitter. If I'm going to listen to take advice from a heroin addict, I'm going to take it from Keith Richards. Somebody tweeted that, and that made me laugh. Or an ex-heroin addict, or what have you. So, but okay. Now, as far as the Hawks moving forward, let's see. The men play Ohio State. Is it Wednesday? 8:00. The women,
2 8 o'clock.
2 8 o'clockers. The women play at 8 o'clock on Thursday, and that against Illinois.
Men, yes, and men play Ohio State at 8 o'clock on Wednesday.
I would give both Ohio State and Illinois a good chance of beating Iowa at home. Not here though. I think Iowa wins both games.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think home court advantage is the big. I don't think the Iowa men are much better or worse than Ohio State. I think if it was in Columbus, I'd probably pick Ohio State to win. But since it's here, I'm picking Iowa.
Yeah, and their records are real similar.
I had somebody tell me, that's kind of a cop-out. I've heard you so often, whenever you make your predictions, you base it so much of it on where the game's played. I'm like, yeah.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Iowa,
teams are
Ohio
pretty
State
even.
are both 9-7 in the Big Ten, and Iowa's 19-8 overall. Ohio State 17-10.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's still right now probably on the right side of the bubble, but you never know. I mean, if Iowa was only a 9 seed yesterday, what's going to be interesting is the matchup between Sturts and Bruce Thornton. They're so different at point guard.
They are.
Thornton is not like Nick Boyd either. He's not near as explosive, but he's strong. He's smart. He's got great leverage and balance, and so it's going to be a good matchup. I just wish it was at 7 instead of 8, but we haven't had many of them.
I wish we were at 6.
The 8 o'clocks are brutal.
They are.
They really are. John Bonenkamp often helps me with coverage of those games, but he lives in Burlington. So, like he told me, he does an 8 o'clock game. He doesn't get home till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's late. Now, it'll be interesting to see how many. I think the men will have somewhere between 9 and 11,000, which isn't bad. I mean, hopefully they surprise me and have more. And
I would be surprised if it's more. But
and I think the women will be not as full maybe as it was yesterday, but they'll still be 13,000 people.
It'll be, yes.
It may not be completely full.
It won't be.
Because the opponent's not Michigan, but Illinois is a good team. I mean,
they are.
And it was funny, Jan was talking about by the time she got to the locker room after yesterday's win, she was already worrying about Illinois. That's just the life of a coach.
Yep.
That's just how they do it. Find another thing to worry about. Kind of like you. It's kind of how you navigate.
I am cool and calm.
I need something to piss me off. Where is it?
Oh, I got
you
a
grab
lot.
that cell phone and you
got a lot.
And you search for injustice, don't you, on social media?
Me and Johnny Ballsack.
You and Johnny Ballsack constantly searching for injustice. But no, yesterday, though, it was an interesting day having just basically he had about an hour in between, but 6, 7 straight hours of Hawkeye sports. Thank God none of it was on Big Ten Plus.
No, it was all on real TV.
Real TV.
Yep, real TV, no college students. I like the people that either give them a break, they're college kids. Hey, they ain't kid, they're men, they could be criticized just like everyone else. I'm sort of in the middle on that one.
Now, I will say, on our rewatch of the BTN Plus, the color guy actually had a few decent points. The lead guy was not very strong, or he was very strident and.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, they're in college. They're 18 or above. They're adults.
They can go to war.
They can go to war. They can,
Although we can go to war 3 years before we can drink in this country.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Sure makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. If you can grab a gun and go to war, you should be able to grab a beer. Whether it's good or not.
Or a shot of Everclear. It depends on. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's never made.
Whether it's good or not. I mean,
it's never made any sense to me.
And you can't smoke till you're 21.
And I remember
you can go to war.
Well, when I was in high school, it was 19. But prior to me being in high school, it was 18.
Yeah.
I don't remember just 18-year-olds, laying on the ground naked, drunk from being able to take advantage of.
No.
It doesn't have that effect. It's not like high school kids were passing out in study hall because they were drinking because they were 18. I mean, I don't know. I've never understood why you can go to war but not drink until you're in the war. You're in your fourth tour, you can now drink.
Yeah, and you can't smoke.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to smoke it.
Yeah.
It's about the worst thing you can do to yourself, but it's
it's
what it is.
I could think of a few things worse than smoking is like getting your head shot off by an opposing soldier. That wouldn't be very good.
That would be worse.
That would be worse. But yeah, it's just inconsistencies. What are we going to do about it?
What have we ever done about it?
Yeah.
Bitch. Nothing.
Bitch.
Just
Yeah.
talk, no action. We're all talk, no action, right? Is that us?
All hat and no cattle, as the saying goes.
I never heard that saying.
I've never heard that either.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard no talk, no act, or all talk, no action. My dad used to describe people that way. Has-beens who never were. That was his favorite one. Oh, he's a has-been who never was. That was one of my dad's favorite expressions.
That's 98% of the people on Twitter.
Has-been who never was.
With the exception of Johnny Ballsack.
Johnny Ballsack's going places.
Yeah.
Especially with the publicity you're giving him. You look him up now, I bet he has 3 followers.
I'll bet he does.
You think he's added a follower?
I'll bet
I
he
would
has.
hope so. if not, surprise the guy.
But the thing is, though, Johnny Balsack may not even live in the state.
Is it Ballsack?
Yeah, just one word. Just one word. Balsack.
Johnny is Johnnny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost sounds like an action figure, doesn't
No,
it?
just one.
Still just one.
Sad. That's sad.
It's sad.
How many does he follow?
6.
Real active account. See, Iowa Wrestling's it's bringing everybody out. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this season ends. And I'll tell you, that kid from Fort Dodge, wow, that Drayshawn Ross, I've just never seen anything like him.
It's too bad we didn't get him.
Yeah, I mean, at least I guess you could say at least he's not going to Penn State. But, Okie State, they've got they're on the rise. I mean, and that kid who defeated Ayala, I think he went to high school with the kid who used to be committed to Iowa. That Jack Forrest, that freshman who I think he went with, Bo Bassett. I think they were high school teammates or what have you. I could be wrong, but I thought they were. But that one still, my jaw dropped as I was watching that. Because, Drake Ayala, he's been an NCAA runner.
Good.
He's been a really good wrestler. He just got dismantled.
Yeah, that Bo Bassett's being hounded by all the recruiters.
Well, he's committed to Virginia Tech. Oh, I see. I get it. I used to have a Basset hound. Fred.
Did you?
Yeah, she was a female named Fred.
Yeah.
And I used to make her sit up. Because she could sit up, and I'd run around our house, and I'd try to do 20 laps around our house before she would get too tired and her back would give out. I used to do that as a little kid. My parents basically got me a Basset hound for my amusement when I was 7 years old.
That's
We had her.
kinda cool.
We had her for 10 years. She was a great dog. She had a little angry side to her. One time, my brother's friend my brother had left something at home at school, and at Dowling you couldn't leave campus and a friend of his was going to be in the area, so he was going to go by our house to get it for my brother. I think that's what it was. And my brother, yeah, we got a dog, but she's fine, But instead, that day, Basset hounds have deep barks.
They do, yeah.
And unless you see it, so Fred, this guy got in the house, and all of a sudden he heard this whoa, and he was so fast to get out of there, he broke the plate glass window with his hand because he missed the doorknob. And then when he got to school and he told my brother said, "Do you realize this is the dog that you were running from?" And it was this 10-year-old Basset hound whose belly rubbed to the ground, big dopey ears, and it was just he got laughed at for a long time after that. But we couldn't figure out one time. Fred kept getting her tummy would have a rash, and finally the vet's like, "Do you have steps that have carpet?" And we're like, "Yeah." That's it. When she'd go up the steps, her tummy would.
Yeah.
And but she always went up the steps because there was one bed that she could sleep on. She'd put her hind legs up, and then she'd look around because somebody would have to lift her front legs up, and then she'd wait for somebody to lift her hind legs up to get on the bed. But man, she was great. We had her for 10 years. My mom, she was a stray that was living in a dorm at Drake, Goodwin Kirk. Well, you know the dorm at Drake.
I do.
And she was living in an all-guy dorm, so they decided to name her Fred, even though she was a girl. They finally talked my mom into bringing her home because they knew she had a 7-year-old son who didn't have a dog anymore.
Well, I had a friend in college, a female friend whose nickname was Fred, and she turned out to be an absolute tremendously accomplished artist.
Wow.
Well, I'm a friend of Frederica that's on CNN.
Frederica. Is that Fred short for Frederica?
No, her name's Jan Friedman, but she's a wonderful artist.
Okay.
Nice person, too.
Basset hounds I used to also tie her ears in knots. Not her, but and then she'd walk around. It looked like she had a little bun. There were times where she would look at my mom and like, "God, can you find something for this kid to do?" She loved it, like when I started playing Little League and stuff, because she was left alone. But she was a good dog. I mean, Basset hounds are interesting. They are definitely interesting.
I like them.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, she was great. I used to always lay down. I'd take naps, and I would use her stomach as my pillow. And my parents would say I'd fall asleep for like an hour or two on the floor with her laying there, and she'd also lay by the fireplace in the winter, and the what do you call them, the little kernels or they'd pop out, and they'd burn her, and she'd cry in her sleep, but she would never have the energy to get up and move, so she'd just sit there and take it. You'd hear her yelping. Whenever the wood would crack, they'd shoot these things out.
So you didn't have one of those?
We did, but not always.
It didn't always stop everything.
It didn't always stop either, but sometimes we'd open it up and whatever, and once we saw that it was doing, we kind of got a kick out of it, you know. I'd be like, Dad, do you think she's ever going to move? And he's like, apparently not.
I don't know. This cat, he is going to wake me up for food at 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Every day he does that?
Every day, every night.
Why don't you? Oh, because he won't eat it if you don't pour it in front of him.
And he will, he is.
That would get annoying.
He don't want to be alone.
Well, isn't that part of the reason you get a pet?
Yeah, but I've had cats, and, they'll go off and sleep or what. He's got to be with us.
Yeah. A lot of cats and dogs are like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he goes upstairs to use his box, and then he'll jump on the bed upstairs, and then
What do you think he's doing right now?
Huh?
What do you think he's doing right now?
Puking breakfast.
You think so?
No, the cat is eating our plants, and then he's puking.
Yeah, cats do that. Our cats are like that. And just quit it.
The plants alone.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. Dogs don't, at least the two I had, they didn't do anything like that. They didn't chew anything. Luckily, because I had a buddy who had a lab that chewed everything. He'd go through remotes, cords, electrical cords. My dogs have never paid any attention to stuff like that.
No.
They never did.
No, never either.
They never liked toys. I'd give them a toy and they just drop it. Like, you think I'm going to play with this thing, you idiot?
It's a rope. It's a
freaking rope. Yeah, I remember one time I gave it to Lakota and it dropped out of his mouth. And he's like, "You got anything better than this?"
Lily played with that in the shelter, and then we brought it home, and they said, she just loves this.
She's devoted. It's her companion, and
yeah.
No, you guys turned into her companion.
And then, wouldn't touch it.
Is Wopsy big on toys?
Wopsy likes toys.
Okay.
She does.
Because I've never obviously seen her with one out here.
No, she does.
All she wants out here is food and attention.
As Wopsy has gotten older, she's gotten anxiety. And unfortunately,
Me too.
She takes to tearing apart the cat boxes, which are
that would be
cardboard.
That would be kind of funny to watch.
Not at all.
I'm glad I wouldn't have to clean it. So do you scold her? Wopsy, this is not a good thing to do.
She doesn't do it in front of us. I mean, it's...
But when you see it, do you say, Wopsy?
Well, they don't understand post...
Yeah.
I think they do, but they don't care.
They don't care.
Well, that's possible.
I mean, she's snubbing her nose at you guys.
No, she knows what she did.
And she runs the house. It's her place.
She does love her house.
They all do.
Oh, yeah.
They all do. The cats,
I mean, by the time...
The cat's telling me when it's going to eat. It's running the house.
I remember I tried to keep Lakota and Buddy off the couch that I had, and it just never worked, and they eventually ruined it. I had to get rid of it. A beautiful couch that my family gave me, and the dogs just ruined it. And my sister's like, no, the dogs didn't ruin it. You ruined it by letting the dogs sit on there, which I did. But anytime I'd leave, they'd just get on there. They didn't respect my wishes. They rolled their eyes at me.
There you go.
They really did. I think there were times my dogs looked at me like, you are a moron.
So have you ever considered getting another dog?
I've considered it, but it's just too hard right now with everything going on.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if I want to go through what I went through twice with those guys dying. It just sucked.
I get it.
It just sucked.
Billy lost that one dog, and he wouldn't get another dog.
Well, he had a bunch of dogs over the years.
Well, I've had dogs.
He finally got to the point where he didn't want to.
But I had Buddy and Lakota combined for 17 years, where they overlapped. That's a lot of time. Yeah. But like I said, both their deaths just took a lot out of me.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. Well, I miss that Tabby like crazy.
Yeah.
She, had her 19 years.
I just wish dogs could live like 30 or 40 years. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if you?
That sure would.
If you have a dog, have Buddy and Lakota for 40 years.
Not at my age now.
Well,
that's why I went in the shelter and they said I want the oldest animal you have, which was.
You see a lot of that.
10 years.
You see a lot of cases on social media. You'll see someone post, I went to the shelter thinking I was going to get this, but I came home with this, and it's like a 13-year-old. They showed this Jack Russell Terrier that was 13 sleeping on his new owner's lap, and just said, hey, this dog will live in peace for the rest of his life. Yeah. Those are good stories.
Yeah, they are.
The thing with Twitter, though, you don't know how many of them are just staged. So much on Twitter, you'll see some incredible video, then your first thing will be, Grok, is this real? No, this is AI. It's so...
Well, Grok is AI.
Well, I know, but it also identifies. So much is AI what you're seeing.
You mean the German Shepherd fighting the bear?
Well, yes, stuff
by
like
standing on by standing on its hind legs
and
fighting the bear.
I mean, there's one where they show an alligator coming out to grab some little kid, and a little chihuahua chases it away. Stuff like it's amazing though how real it looks. It's scary. I mean, AI is going to be our downfall, don't you think?
Well, social media is our downfall.
Yeah. Well, social media, but they will work together. My worry is AI someday is going to start a war. Do you ever worry about that?
I think we'll start the war before
AI. Before AI has to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced we're going to bomb Iran. Do you think we are? I'm not convinced.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, no, I know, but I'm still not. But we'll see. I mean, it was supposed to happen this weekend, and it didn't happen.
They're not worth it.
Who Iran? No, I'm with you. I feel bad for their people, but
I thought we destroyed all their nuclear.
That's what I thought. Obliterated.
Yeah. So if we
I feel bad for their people, but they need to overthrow. It's easier. I get it. It's easy for me to sit here and say they need to overthrow their government. That's the only thing they need to do.
People are saying the same thing about ours.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and
but
they are.
I will say now, in fairness, but in Iran, they're estimating 40,000 people were killed by all those protests. I mean, it's a completely different monster over there.
Yeah, well, it is.
And it's easy for me to say, but that's the only way they're going to get freedom is they got to get rid of that theocracy, those nuts in charge over there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but
they've been there for almost 50 years. I remember when that happened in 1979. I think 21. It's been 47 years.
Yeah.
Under Islamic rule.
It's crazy.
And you see these videos of Iran prior to the takeover, like women walking around free with their beautiful faces show. I mean, it was a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah, it's crap.
All right, now I'm depressed. We got to get back to the Hawks.
Okay, let's talk about.
No, they're not wrestling.
Let's talk about expectation. Okay, going into the year, women's basketball first.
They're beyond what I thought they would do. They're better right now.
I would agree with that. And I think you agreed with me that getting a top 16 was a goal.
It was a goal. I wasn't convinced they were going to get it, and they still got to keep winning. I mean, they could lose out, and I mean,
if they lose their next three,
they probably won't get it.
Probably not.
But I don't think they're going to lose the next three. The men are a little better than I thought they would. I remember saying at the beginning of the year I thought the men would go around 10-10. I think they're going to finish 11-9 or 12-8. I think they're going to beat Ohio State. That's 10-7. And then after that,
beat Penn State.
That's 11-7.
And then our last two are tough.
And I think they may lose both of those. That'd be 11. It's at Nebraska, which I think they're going to lose.
And then Michigan at home.
And God, I know Michigan lost to Duke, but that was a hell of a game. And Michigan's really good, but Duke is lights out again. So yeah, 11-9. If they go 11-9, to me, that's a good first year for Ben.
Yeah, I agree.
I really do. 12-8 would be lights out because 12-8 might get them off that 8-9 bubble.
And the man of the football.
Football for next year, I'm 7-5, 8-4.
Okay, well, how about last year?
Oh, last year I picked them to go, I think 9-3.
Uh-huh.
That was and I think you had them 8-4, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I had them 9-3. What they ended up finishing? Didn't they go? They went 8-4 and then won the bowl game, right?
9-4.
Yeah,
I think.
So they went 9-4. So yeah, we were both pretty close. This coming year, though. I'm 7-5, 8-4 because I'm always going to give them at least 7 wins under Kirk at this stage. But I've got a lot of concerns at quarterback, on deep. There's just concerns everywhere up and down the roster. Whereas last year's team I thought was a little more proven. It was. They had a lot of guys back on both sides. You just didn't know what Gronowski was going to do.
I think this coming year, a 7-5 record wouldn't be a shock.
No. It would be a disappointment.
It would be a disappointment. I'll probably end up picking 8-4.
Yeah, I'll probably go 7-5, 8-4, one of the two. They just need to make sure it's not worse than 7-5, because if it's worse than 7-5, then they lose a lot of momentum and people start second guessing Kirk because he'll be, he's 70 years old.
Yep.
So that's just where we are right now.
And wrestling.
Way worse. I can't look. It's impossible to look at wrestling now because you don't know what the roster is going to look like a year from now. There could be changes, and
we don't know that.
But I would go. Yeah, but you know a lot more about football than you do wrestling because football's pretty much solidified. I mean, the football roster is pretty much set.
It is now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with wrestling, who knows what's going to happen during the off season? And but I will say that I don't see wrestling showing any signs of coming anywhere close to Penn State. I mean, they're not moving in that direction.
No.
The only ones moving in that direction is Okie State and Ohio State a little bit. But Okie State's the one that's taken this big move because they've got a lot of energy now with David Taylor. He's the young, new, bright coach, former star at Penn State. And that's who Iowa fans wanted. If Brands was going to step down, they wanted David Taylor, but it's too late for that now.
It is. And he's done well.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming. They're coming on strong. What's going on over there? A lot big discussion.
Who knows?
Big discussion.
Who knows?
Just decisions being made right before our eyes, Suter.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be a fight. Oh, I guess not.
What's going on over there, Captain? You and Hunter are deep in discussion.
Yes.
The fight?
Making decisions that are going to impact millions of people.
Thousands.
Hundreds.
Tens.
Did you guys almost come to blows, Hunter?
Dozens of people.
Couple.
So, but yeah, those are my predictions for next year. 7-5, 8-4.
I suppose, but
I don't see much changing football-wise to make me think they're going to be better than 8-4.
No, and there's 3 distinct seasons within the season. The first 3 are games probably Iowa should win. 2.
And the next 3 they'll be underdogs. Probably.
They'll be underdogs, and then the Big Ten West after that. So
yeah, and we don't. Yeah, again. So, but going out on a limb and saying I'm hardly going out on a limb saying 7-5, 8-4. That's always a safe pick with Iowa football.
Well, that's true.
I mean, this year they ended up losing 4 games. The year before they lost 5. I mean, that's just kind of the way things are right now. So, but no, it's going to be interesting to see the quarterback situation. At least with Gronowski, you'd seen him play. You kind of knew what his style was going to be. With these guys, I mean, I haven't seen enough of either one to really know what they're going to do. I do think Jeremy Heglinski, I think it's his position to lose. I don't think they will admit that. I think they're going to keep them both propped up together so they can keep them both engaged and motivated. Because to me, whoever loses that job may move on during the summer. I wouldn't surprise me.
It could very possibly.
But then eventually, though, you got to start thinking, let's say you're the one who loses that job. Where are you going to go? Are you just going to find some place where you can be the guy and just kind of throw everything else away? I mean, for some quarterbacks, they may end up having to go to a much lesser school to be the guy.
Well, they'll probably have to.
It depends on, it'll be interesting to see how this goes because quarterbacks are always going to be coming and going. That's just the way it is.
Yep, that's for
just
sure.
the way it is. Little Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah. And the range.
And
Don't
the
forget
range.
them.
Yeah.
And the Rembrandts.
He played high school basketball. He grew up in Virginia, Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah.
I learned that from an Allen Iverson documentary, if you can believe that. ESPN did a really good documentary on Allen Iverson, and I was just you remember he got arrested and spent time. It was really how it racially divided the town he grew up in and what have you because of that bowling alley brawl and what have you. It was an interesting documentary, and God, to think that was Allen Iverson. That was his high school senior year was 34 years ago.
Jesus.
That's how old we're getting. Did you see Shaq on TV ride the luge with the guy?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. It was hilarious just watching Shaq try to get and then wraps his leg around that guy. And then did you hear Charles call the Knicks the Dicks by mistake? Just he was talking. He goes,
Are you sure it was a mistake?
No, it was. You could tell, but then Kenny and Shaq just could not stop laughing. They're just not on enough anymore. ESPN doesn't really air them that much. I don't get it. To me, if I'm ESPN, I am throwing those guys out there because they're so popular with everybody. But it doesn't seem like they're on near as much as they used to be.
No, Stephen Smith is all over the.
I don't. When I see him, I just turn the channel.
Yeah,
I don't
need him.
I saw some 10-minute interview on social media where he's talking about why he's thinking of running for president because the Democrats need new leadership, is what he's saying. Stephen A. Smith. Okay, maybe they do, but it doesn't need to be a loudmouth sports writer. I mean.
Well, we'll see what the Dems come up with. Gavin Newsom's probably the odds-on favorite right now, but there's a fair amount of Democrats who don't like Gavin.
My problem with Gavin Newsom is just how he's perceived. But whatever. I mean,
Pritzker, he's been called the new Taft, which is
because he's heavy.
Yeah.
He's losing weight, though. I heard he kind of looks like a cross between Fred Flintstone and the father from Wonder Years.
Hello.
Hey, guys, it's Greg calling from Chicago.
Hey, Greg.
Speaking of Iowa quarterbacks, did I see that Jackson Stratton finally ended up somewhere, like at San Diego?
Oh, you may have. I have not noticed
I haven't seen that either.
Here, I'll look. San Diego would make
Yeah,
sense.
I thought I saw it, but it was like just recently. I would have thought school had already started, but I was happy to hear that. What he did coming in 2 games last year, where he started the season, and
2 years ago,
getting wins was big.
2 years ago, he's undefeated.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 seasons.
He's never been beaten as a starter.
Starting the season as a fifth string, and they didn't ask him to do much, but he did what he had to, and I was happy to see. I thought he might actually end up somewhere else, because I think they're in the same league as Drake, aren't they?
I believe so. That's where Harbaugh coached.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking.
Pat, has your Drake hired a new football coach yet?
I have not been paying attention. Have they? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I have not been paying attention. I'm not.
It was kind of a shock. Woodley leaving after 1 year, so.
Well.
Yeah, he's out at Rutgers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was surprised by
All
that.
right, guys, thanks.
Thanks,
hey,
Greg.
thanks for the call.
I was surprised by that, but that guy blocks me on Twitter.
So did he go? Is he what, the offensive coordinator, or
I can't remember. I'm not seeing anything Jackson Stratton to San Diego, but that doesn't mean it's not true.
Well, I hope Shaggy finds a good home.
Yeah, I mean he was, he filled in. He filled in when they needed it. Yeah,
he did.
Jackson Stratton. I'm just seeing Jackson Stratton news, and I'm not seeing anything.
No?
Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I haven't punched in Jackson Stratton news.
I haven't either until just now, and nothing other than old news comes up. But he was an emergency fill-in, and he basically managed the game for them.
He was an improvement over Deacon
Hill. He was better than Deacon Hill. I will give him that. And but yeah, that's just the way this game works. I mean, these quarterbacks if you're a quarterback and you stay at one school, you're the exception to the rule now. I mean, you really are. Most quarterbacks, by the time they're done with college, are going to have played for 2 or 3 programs. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is now, good or bad. That's just how it is.
And if you're good enough, you're chasing checks,
Yeah, well, that's part of it too. Yeah, you're definitely chasing checks. And for some of these guys, staying in college is more lucrative than exploring the NFL. That's what's so crazy about this now. And that's why the Chambliss kid who ended up winning his appeal for a 6th year or whatever, he wants to get his while he still can, because he's not a guarantee to be a star in the NFL.
No.
So you just don't know if the money's going to come. But if you make enough of it in college, if you got $5 million, $6 million in your bank account coming out of college, if you manage your money right, you've got generational wealth. Can we all agree on that?
100%.
Most people never come close to getting $5 million. And that's what's happening with a lot of these college quarterbacks now. And that's why they're staying. And that's why they're appealing and suing to stay in college.
Yeah.
Whereas, remember, 10, 15 years ago, guys couldn't get out of college fast enough and get to the league because they weren't getting paid.
That's right.
I couldn't get out
100%.
fast enough.
As you enter your 2nd century.
Oh, here it is. Yep, okay. So San Diego football, Iowa City, America's finest, Jackson Stratton. And that was San Diego football's account tweeting it. Let's see what it says. So good for Jackson.
Yeah.
Jackson Stratton, University of Iowa, San Diego. He's from right in that area, so good for him. Let me see if they've did anything more. That's a nice fit for him. That's probably the level.
That's perfect.
That's probably the level where he belongs. He might be able to help them.
And he'll, yes, he might.
And if you've been to San Diego, it's not a place. If you can afford it, not a bad place to live.
No,
I just couldn't afford it.
Good weather.
God, though, it's expensive.
Perfect weather.
Perfect weather.
Yeah.
About as good as it can get. I mean,
it's about the same every day, which I suppose could get the sameness could get to you.
Not very humid.
No.
Not a lot of rain. The Holiday Bowl was my last time in San Diego. I stayed right up in a hotel not far from, right by where all those big military ships are. I used to walk down there every day, and it was beautiful.
I've only been there once.
If you had to live in San Diego or L.A., would you pick San Diego?
I don't like L.A.
I didn't crazy about L.A. too.
No.
It's so spread out.
No.
And so many people.
I'm just,
70
LA
miles
does nothing
long.
for
This
me.
thing is 70 miles long. I mean.
Yeah, not everybody can live in a trailer in Malibu right on the beach like Rockford had it.
I got an offer from a station and Los Angeles, and I thought, wow. And I went out there. This was way early in my life. And the station didn't cover half of L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 70 miles long. Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is John Balmer speaking. I just wanted to report in on it was a very emotional celebration of life yesterday at City High. For
gosh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if anybody else was there among you guys, but needless to say, it was one of those moments you don't want to have to go to too often.
No.
But it was. Place was packed, and all the UNI football team was there. It was very impressive, and the tributes were very tasteful, and it's difficult for the City High, for the Sutherland and City High family, but it was certainly well done, and very proud of those who participated. But
that's good to hear. I mean, you know what I mean. It's
really good to hear.
Glad that a lot of people showed up, which I thought they would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was packed. It was standing room only, and but it was especially impressive with the UNI football team.
No,
they
that
all
is
walked
good.
in with their purple jerseys on, and his position coach spoke, and so it was. Yeah, needless to say, raw emotions, but something that huge void for the family, and but certainly, hopefully time is a great healer, but as you know, it takes time. So I wanted just to report in and say what a meaningful event it was, and so happy that we went. So.
Well, I will say that this city is very, very good about stuff like that, as well they should be. And the UNI team, that doesn't surprise me, because
that's just who we are.
That's just what teams do.
That's what good teams do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're
very
right.
tight.
And my opinion of them went up markedly. I mean, not that it wasn't good, but it was even better now. So I just felt very good about that. And like you say, Tom, this community, this state is really, they step up, as we all know. But I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Well, thank you for the
John.
call, and thanks for the report. And that does not surprise me in the slightest. But I'm gratified.
Yeah. All right. Good talking to you.
All right.
Gentlemen.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Yep.
Should we end on that note?
Yeah,
I think that's a good.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I expect to have an Iowa athlete on Wednesday. Not sure it is, and then of course Adam's going to come on and talk hoops on Friday. He says he's got no meetings scheduled as of yet. That could change, but as of now, we've got him on Friday.
And I'm trying to get Johnny Ballsack to.
I'll bet we could get him on.
Yeah.
Johnny Ballsack.
Oh, okay.
I'll bet we could.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. We got some music coming up.
Your daughter will be here.
Molly Catherine will be here shortly.
You don't know where we're going to.
Well, I knew
we'll
Molly
be
was
on the
next.
air. Yeah,
but she'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be on the air.
Okay, Hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by